Pathetic men are back! Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2 came out on June 13th, 2024. As usual, whenever Bridgerton comes out, I take the whole day off to go binge it. For Part 1, I got to go to a special screening in the city, which was so much fun. I still can't believe that happened. Honestly, not gonna lie, I was really struggling mentally for a very long time. A lot of things happened in my life and a lot of not so good people were in my life too. I really needed a day of fun, and being in a big theater with so many beautiful girls all bonding over a show we love was just what I needed. However, I won't let that affect my opinions on this season. Even though I am a fan, I am always honest. I've made videos on the first 2 seasons already, go watch them if you haven't, and now here's my video on season 3. Disclaimer as usual, these are just my opinions. Feel free to comment yours, just remember to be respectful, and if it isn't obvious, there will be major spoilers in this video. In my past Bridgerton videos, one of my biggest criticisms of the show is that romance is always the biggest plot point, and I still stand by that. In my opinion, the best romance films and shows are the ones where romance comes second, not first. I'll use La La Land as an example again. While romance is a massive part of the film, the main story is about following your dreams and the sacrifices you have to make along the way. That's what makes the bond between Mia and Sebastian so much stronger. In the first 2 seasons of Bridgerton, they didn't really do this, they just put romance as number 1. But in season 3, there was actually a storyline that was placed first, the Whistledown story. And I really enjoyed that. Not because I love the drama, but it made the romance between Colin and Penelope a lot more captivating, I think. Like, Lady Whistledown ruined lives, and Colin is literally in bed with her. Like, the drama. It raised a lot of stakes. The other storylines, they were a hit or miss, I think. Definitely better than some other seasons, but I still had some issues with them, which I will get into later. In general, this season of Bridgerton felt kinda different, and that's because they changed their showrunner, which changed some other elements of the show. I don't know if it was the new showrunner's idea to give the lead couple less screen time, but whoever signed off on that idea, why? Didn't like that. Did not like that at all. I did like how the dialogue improved, and there was actually a lot of humor included. It was not only good writing, it gave the actors chances to show off their comedic skills. I also thought that a few characters had some of the best character writing I've ever seen in Bridgerton so far, and let's start with arguably the most interesting character of the whole show, Penelope Featherington. I'm really proud of this girl. She's been through a lot of changes without really changing who she is deep down. In previous seasons, she's always been a wallflower. She's the one that no one really paid attention to, except to occasionally make fun of. That's how she was able to be Whistledown for so long. But this season, she decides to change up her looks and step into the light. With the help of Colin, she also changes up her behavior in order to attract suitors. She's pretending to be someone she's not. But throughout the season, she's only really herself again when she's with none other than Colin Bridgerton. And when her Lady Whistledown identity is in jeopardy, that's when she finds herself again. She realizes that Whistledown is actually her. She likes gossip, she likes writing, and Whistledown may be a persona to the ton, but it's her words. I thought the buildup of drama in part 2 was actually done really well. Episode 5 was so anxiety-inducing that I had to take a lap around my room after I finished watching it. The following episodes were very dramatic and engaging as well. This season definitely had the highest stakes the show has ever seen. I really liked how Penelope owned up to her mistakes, even when there was an easy way out. She could have paid Cressida herself. Colin also offered to lie to his brother in order to pay Cressida, but Penelope chose to do the right thing. Even though I don't agree with her past mistakes and behavior, I do admire her choice in the end. I know that in that moment of panic, I would have probably paid Cressida, but standing in front of everyone and going on a 2-page monologue was brave. I also really liked her storyline with her mother. I was very surprised because I was never a fan of the Featheringtons. They actually used to be quite annoying to me, but this season was a surprise, and I'm actually gonna make an entire video dedicated to the relationship between Portia and Penelope, so stay tuned for that. I really love Nicola. Like, I've been watching a bunch of interviews of the cast and I just love her energy and presence. She's an insanely talented actress and really put her all into her performance as Penelope. I don't know if this is just me, but I can really tell how much Nicola loves Penelope through her performance. I don't know, I think it's very beautiful. Colin Bridgerton.
Colin Bridgerton!
He's also gonna get his own video because I got some thoughts on him. Some bad, some good, but yeah, just stay tuned for that. Polin. I know probably the biggest criticism of season 3 has been the romance between Penelope and Colin. A lot of people are calling it awkward. While I do understand that perspective, I was actually kind of okay with it because becoming friends to lovers is awkward. These characters are also pretty young. Every interaction isn't gonna be as intense as Kate and Anthony's was. I am a bit upset though that they didn't get a lot of screen time despite literally being the leads of a show. Like, what the hell was that all about? I think if the show just cut out one side plot and given that screen time to Penelope and Colin, a lot more people would have been on board with these characters. Their relationship definitely needed to be a bit more fleshed out, but I don't know, I'm not on the side of like, cancel Polin. I thought it was alright. It just needed more screen time. Kate and Anthony. Bro, where did they go? I loved seeing them in episode 1 because they were finally together, finally married, and finally happy. But then they just disappeared for like half the show. I also wish they got more screen time and also more of a character arc. This is just an idea I have, but I think it would have been really interesting to see Kate step into her new duties as Viscountess. We kind of see it when she's like planning for a party, but I have a suggestion. You know how it was hinted at that she was a little uneasy about her pregnancy because she wanted it to be just her and Anthony for a little longer? I wish that and the Viscountess duties could have been her storyline. She's got a lot to do now and everyone expects a lot from her. I wish we could see her struggle with that, try to do it on her own, fail, and then realize that she can't. She needs help and support from the people around her, including her husband. And especially because it takes a village to raise a child. Being firstborn and having to carry a lot of responsibility, they have a lot of pride. But it would have been cool to see Kate break down these walls that she's put up and embrace some love and support. That's just my idea for a storyline. Either way, I'm just happy that they came back for a few episodes and offered some words of wisdom to Colin and Eloise. Like, as long as they came back, I'm good. But I am really scared that the writers wrote them off the show with their move to India. If they don't come back next season, I am gonna scream. I would love to see their storylines continue and characters further develop, because they're my favorite couple, honestly. Francesca Bridgerton. I know a lot of people were saying online that they felt like Francesca didn't have a personality. First of all, rude. Second, I disagree. I think she just prefers the simple things in life. I thought John was a great match for her because he clearly feels the same way. Also, I really liked how she talked to her mom about her views of love. It doesn't need to be super passionate, aggressive, or dramatically fought for. It can be quiet and soft, but it doesn't make it less real. I don't think it's right to talk about Francesca without talking about Michaela. So I haven't read Francesca's book, but I did read some spoilers online and I know the general plot of it. I can definitely understand why so many people are mad, and I think it's made even worse when Francesca's book happens to be a fan favorite. I don't really have an opinion yet because I just met this character and Francesca is still new to me. But I definitely understand the anger from the fans because it changes the future of her character. I will say though, I do think that adaptations need to stay true to their source material. Benedict Bridgerton. I don't have too much to say about him because there isn't much to say. He's still my favorite Bridgerton because I can relate to him in a lot of ways. I am also a second-born child who likes art and wants to find some freedom. But Benedict has gone through the same storyline these past 3 seasons. Oh my god. I thought the intimate scenes he had were so awkwardly placed between episodes. Maybe it was just a really unhinged editing choice, but like, we get it. How long is he gonna keep doing this? However, I really did like the scene where Tilly admitted her feelings to him. When Benedict expresses his desire to keep things casual, Tilly says this.
I support your wishes. But I must say, even merriment can grow tiring.
I think this will be the catalyst for a real character arc with Benedict. I hope to God his season is next, because I want to see some intense character growth from him. Hi, I'm currently editing this video and I realized that I forgot to talk about Eloise and Lord Anderson. Sorry, I'm like the worst YouTuber ever, but I think I forgot because I actually don't have any complaints about them. What a shocker. Eloise was a lot more tolerable this season and I actually liked seeing her struggle in her relationships with Pen and Cressida. I also liked seeing some character growth from her. Lord Anderson was alright. I didn't learn too much about him because he's only a side character, but I hope that next season we can learn a lot more about him. I think Violet deserves a lot of happiness. I know she gets it from her children, but I think it'll be really sweet to see someone take care of her for a change. And I really like the growth from Lady Danbury because I've never seen her so angry and hurt at a person before. I also liked how Lord Anderson's return initiates the conversation with Lady Danbury and Violet about what happened a long time ago. I've been waiting for that to come back in the show since Queen Charlotte, so it was nice seeing them reconcile in a very subtle way, but it was very sweet. So thank you, Lord Anderson, for initiating all this character growth. I hope we can learn more about you next season. Like most people, I didn't like the Mondrich storyline. The characters felt a little bland to me, and their story also felt unfinished. Like, one day they get rich, they join society, and they hate it. JK, they're married so they can do whatever they want. The end. Will sells the club and then misses it. The end. They throw a ball. The end. I think it felt bland because we know how hard these characters worked in previous seasons to support themselves. This new house, wealth, and social status felt so weird because it was just easily gifted to them. I think it could have been interesting to see Will struggle with his identity. A lot of it is tied back to the club. He risked a lot for it and is deservingly proud. I would have liked to see him be more unhappy with his new life because their income doesn't come from his work. It comes from the work of others. His identity could have been tied to being a man of work, and his storyline could have been him struggling with giving that up, but in a more internal way. I think a storyline could have ended with a challenge, not of the rules of society, but the entire structure. It's expected for people of high society to, like, I don't know, own land and shit, but definitely not work in a bar. But why not do both? Why can't Will work at his bar? I don't know. I think that would have been cool, honestly, but I think they could have cut out the storyline and given the screen time to Penelope and Colin. Sorry. Cressida Cowper. I was kind of surprised to see her become the main villain in part 2. I feel like part 1 made her really sympathetic. Still rude and bitchy, of course, but definitely a lot more human than previous seasons. I kind of wanted a happy ending for her, like maybe with Lord Debling, who, by the way, just vanished into thin air once Penelope chooses Colin. Like, where did he go? I did like her relationship with Eloise and what they both realized about themselves from it. I also found her family dynamic pretty interesting. Very cruel, of course, but interesting. I'm not completely against what happens with Cressida. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about her ending in the comments. Speaking of the ending, I didn't 100% buy the ending. I like how Pen wrote to the Queen and I liked her speech too, but I didn't like how the Ton just forgave her so quickly. Or maybe they didn't, because we didn't really get to see many reactions, just a few whispers and like 2 side eyes, but then the bugs were released and then that's that. I don't know, maybe we'll see Pen get some backlash in season 3. I know a lot of people online didn't buy the Queen's reaction either. Personally, I have mixed feelings about that. I liked how Lady Danbury talked to the Queen before about what might happen when Whistledown is revealed, because the Queen loves drama, she loves a good scandal, and she loves being in a constant battle of power with Whistledown, because Whistledown is like the first thing that arguably has more power than the Queen. I don't think that the Queen would ever be this forgiving, but I can definitely see her letting Whistledown continue. But I am very interested in seeing how this will play out in season 3. Something I didn't really like was the cinematography. In the previous 2 seasons, I thought the show did a really good job of this. Some shots were so beautiful and interesting to look at, and definitely added to the emotional moments. It also elevated the connection between the leads. It made their love feel a lot more special, in my opinion. For example, take this shot of Kate and Anthony, which is probably my favorite in all 3 seasons. In this moment, these characters are going through a lot. They feel something for each other, but Kate still prioritizes Edwina's feelings and well-being over her own. Anthony is still struggling with his daddy issues, being the oldest of a big family, and his feelings. But in this moment, dancing together makes all of that melt away for a few seconds. Despite the room being full, it's like they're the only 2 people there. The cinematography has always been good, but I think it shines the most in scenes of intimacy, both emotional and physical. In season 3, I don't know, I feel like we just got less of that. It was just so straightforward. Some basic over-the-shoulder shots, some weird ones. There were some where the characters were just so misplaced, and nothing really as captivating as previous seasons. I feel like lemonade has become a character on the show. Like, there is just so much lemonade happening. Something I really liked were the scenes where the Bridgerton siblings were together, whether they were just playing cards or eating some macarons. It was really nice seeing them just be siblings. I also liked how they gave Hyacinth and Gregory more lines and funny moments. Speaking of funny, the season overall had some really great jokes.
When he inserts himself.
Inserts himself? Inserts himself where?
Why must I be punished over and over?
I love comedy. Like, I'm a big fan, and I think the show actually did it pretty well. In general, I personally really enjoyed this season of Bridgerton. I thought some characters were very interesting. So interesting that they will be getting their own videos dedicated to them. And I can't wait to see more. I'll end this video the same way I've ended my other Bridgerton reviews. I want to thank the show. Despite my criticisms, Bridgerton remains one of my favorite shows. It's like the definition of escapism. It always comes back in my life when I really need it to. I struggle a lot with mental health, and this show just brings so much joy into my life. I've gotten closer with people just because we're fans of the show. I got to go to a freaking fan screening event because of the show. Like, oh my god, I love it so much, and it continues to bring so much comfort to me. So yeah, thank you, Bridgerton, once again. And if you're still listening to me rant, thank you so much for watching. Again, these are just my opinions. Feel free to comment yours, just remember to be respectful. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see what I'm up to and what I'm watching. So yeah, subscribe if you want. Have a great day. Bye!